Hey, Michelle, what's shaking?
Hey, not too much. Lindsay, how are you?
I'm feeling good. What's up? What's going on today?
Well, I things are always busy and I'm tired and then I realize like I'm not doing certain goals that I've wanted to do, like
Oh,
especially with exercising and things like
okay.
that. But I
Yeah,
have to give myself grace, like
you
things are
do.
busy, the summer is busy, and I'm just going to give myself grace because I
Yes,
can't get like
yes.
mad about my at myself for every little thing.
Totally. It's self-compassion, right? This is self-compassion. Wow, it's tough if you are so hard on yourself all the time to
Yeah.
be perfect. It's just not sustainable in a life, in a happy life. You know what I mean? We
Right.
need that balance between, yes, I have certain things I want to get done and I'm going to try to work towards my goals, but I'm not going to finish everything in that day, that one day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, recently I've noticed that there's this expression that people love to use, and I just said it, and it is give yourself grace. So, Lindsay, I noticed this being said everywhere,
Interesting.
especially on things like social media. So I wanted to take something from real life that I hear because I always notice it. I always notice it. To
Huh.
be honest, I'll be totally honest. Sometimes I find it a little bit of an irritating expression. I don't know why. Just I think because I hear it so frequently now that it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Interesting.
don't know. But you said you don't hear it that much.
No, but I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I almost never go on TikTok. I don't know. I just never got into the habit. So maybe that's where you're seeing it. Also, it kind of ties into, I guess, our cultural moment though, around
Mm.
yeah, kind of post pandemic, kind of an
Mm.
awakening around self compassion.
Yeah.
I see it more because I study Buddhism, right? So it plays into Buddhist practice quite a bit. Self compassion,
Mm.
kind of letting go are all Buddhist concepts. So there's an equivalent in what I study as well. So for sure, it's
Yeah.
out there in the culture now. Yeah. And
Yeah.
grace is also a name.
That's true.
Yeah.
Grace is a name.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful name.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
name.
Lindsay, you mentioned that you felt like it sounds almost like a religious expression, but it's not
Yeah.
really used in that way in this context. I think it's more like I think of it more as like a yoga teacher saying it, like give yourself grace, like
More
when you're
pop culture
right,
kind
maybe
of.
in
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So when I mean grace, so we said that that can be a name, but grace is also, I mean, the dictionary had a lot of different definitions, but the my favorite synonyms that I saw were kindness, goodwill, and civility, for this context, right? So it's basically be kind to yourself, right?
Yeah, totally. This actually reminds me so much of my grandmother. She passed away in 2008. But you know how people always have their own sayings, things they
Mm-hmm.
say to you? And so
Mm-hmm.
every time she lived with us for like 10 years.
Oh
And
wow.
every time I would leave her room, say hello to her, and then go, she'd say, "Good, be good to yourself. Be good to
Aw.
yourself." Yeah, she would always. So this is wisdom
Aw.
for the generations. I mean, she lived through
Aw.
the Great Depression, right? She was born in 1910.
Oh
And
wow.
so what I'm trying to say here is this is not just, it is kind of having a resurgence, this idea of being good to yourself, compassion, grace for oneself, but it's been around forever. So you know what I
Yeah. So
mean?
wait, so she was 98?
Yeah, she was, oh, yes, yes.
So wait, your mom's or your dad's mom?
On my mom's side.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. Oh well, she sounds
Yeah.
like an amazing person. We should do an episode like talking about our grandparents or
Oh,
like
that'd be
things we
kind of
learned.
cool. That'd
That'd
be
be
cool.
be special.
I love that idea.
Sounds like
Yeah.
sounds like she was really special. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean, so it is a similar idea. It basically means be kind to yourself, give yourself a break, take it slow. Like if things don't go exactly how they should, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's when I hear it a lot. Like when somebody's being too hard on themselves. Like Lindsay, are you too hard on yourself, do you think?
I can be sometimes. And this plays out, for example, yesterday, right? It was the end of the day. It was time to go to Orange Theory and work out. And I thought to myself, oh my God, there's so much I didn't get done.
Yeah.
Right. And I struggled with it in the evening too, just thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. And at some point, you just have to let go and say, there's always going to be more stuff to do, Michelle. Right.
Yes, I always think about that too. Like I came to that realization once, like when I would, get like stressed about something, and then, because do you ever feel like, oh, this is a really stressful time, and you like make a list of all the things you have to do, and then you cross them off, and then just it comes again. Like it's just there's just always going to be a new list, right?
There's
So
always gonna
like
be a new list.
if you recognize that you're not surprised by it or stressed, like there's always, knock on wood until the bitter end, like there will be things to do. And so, we're lucky that that's that there are things to do.
It's true.
And yeah, but it's always like sometimes I also feel that about, especially during the pandemic, when I would get to Monday and because I was alone with my son every single day, you'll remember, Lindsay, for over
rough.
a year.
Yeah, that was rough.
Just like, and we weren't really doing anything. And I mean, I love him so dearly, but it was a hard time, right?
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. And so I remember every time I got to Monday, I mean, talk about the Sunday scaries. We've talked about that a lot. Like that would be really hard for me because Dan would go back to work and then it was like 5 days ahead of me. And I remember thinking like, oh no, it's just going to come again. So like, don't get upset every time because you're just going to come again.
Yeah, it's a letting go, right? It's a letting go and relaxing into it. I do think that this mentality is definitely tied to a cultural moment right now, more so than pre-pandemic, for example, when, for example, our economy was on a bull run, right? Between like 2014 and 2020, it was just people are working hard and just living life, going hard at everything. And I think since the pandemic kind of encouraged people to step back, go home, absorb what it's like to be around family, I think we've come to a new moment here where you will hear this more often or variations of this phrase. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's true. So I mean, I've heard like, oh, have you ever heard of this? If you're being hard on yourself, I've heard someone saying like, think of if you've made a mistake, think of if you'd be angry at a friend for making the mistake, or if your friend was hard on themselves, like what would you say to that friend? And you have to treat yourself like you would treat that friend. Like,
I think that's
because we're always harder on ourselves, right?
Sure. Yeah. I think that's a great way to think of it. Yeah. I've heard that before, for sure. For sure. The self-talk, like monitor your own self-talk. And would you say that to a friend in that same tone? Most of the time, never.
Right. Guys, we have another All Ears English episode to direct you to. It's episode 1802. Is it really a good question? So go on over and listen to that.
Yeah, guys, and make sure you hit follow on All Ears English, right? Don't miss a single episode. Let us come to you, because when you do hit follow on any of the apps that you listen to the show on, the new episodes just drop into your queue. So it'll be easy to press play and just listen. So hit the follow button now if you haven't done it yet. Okay.
Awesome. All right. So, Lindsay, what are times then you might say this expression?
Okay, well, here's some examples. When someone is blaming themselves for a mistake they made at work. Okay.
Right. You could say that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give yourself grace.
Or when someone hasn't kept up with a habit, like we said, exercise, or maybe stopping a bad habit.
Yes.
That can be tough for them.
It can be really tough, but it doesn't help at all to be hard on yourself. You know, that's not, because we have to be kind of our own best friend to kind of achieve anything, or to kind of be good in the world, or be in a good place in the world. Or when someone is having a hard time emotionally, maybe they're at a new school, new job, or something happened to someone in their lives, just using this phrase to say that to them can really help them relax.
So, Lindsay, if somebody says this to you, I mean, what would you feel? Do you feel emotionally supported? Do you feel like it's a little patronizing, or do you like it?
No, I don't feel like it's patronizing. By the way, that's a bonus for our listeners. What does that mean? Patronizing?
It's basically like looking down at you, or like making it seem, how do I explain patronizing? I think of it like, Lindsay, you're going to have to take this one.
Yeah, it's looking down on someone. It's condescending. It's
condescending.
It's condescending. Yeah. No, I don't see it that way at all. It depends on the context, but I wouldn't take it that way. I would take it as a reminder. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to
I
loosen
mean,
and let go a little bit.
right, right. I mean, I think it's nice and it does alert me to be kind to myself. But like I said, I think it's become a little bit overused or
Yeah.
maybe a little cliche or impersonal. But Lindsay, you said you
Interesting.
haven't heard it that much, so I guess you
I
wouldn't
guess you
think
and I
so.
are living in different online realms. I don't know
I
what's
know.
going on here. I don't know. But I do, like I said before, I know that this concept is in style. Like just self compassion is in style, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Giving yourself grace or giving yourself the benefit of the doubt is in style right now, for sure.
Yes. 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 Exactly. So let's do some examples of how this might be used.
Okay. Here we go. I can't believe I messed this up again.
Lindsay, give yourself grace. It's fine. We all make mistakes. You'll learn.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, this is good. Or here we go.
I feel like I'll never be able to do this 10K.
Michelle, give yourself some grace. You can do this. Keep working hard. I really know you can.
Thank you.
Okay, Michelle. What comes to mind when I think about this is, lately I've been helping my aunt with her things, right? All of her things, her affairs. She passed away, but my brother and I have been working on these things, and it's just very intense, right? It's very
Yeah.
intense taking on something like this. And there have been a lot of times in the last year or so when I've just thought, oh my God, I screwed this up, or I might screw this up. This is a lot of pressure. And that's a great time when someone could say, give yourself some grace. You're stepping into this situation unaware of a lot of things,
Right.
and just do the best you can,
Yeah.
because yeah. So
It was
that
a
would be
lot.
an
Yes.
example.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And notice that I added in some grace. That for me feels a little more natural. Adding in, give yourself some grace. I like that.
Yeah.
What do you
You could
think?
hear. Yeah. I like that as well. I could definitely hear either one of those being used. So guys, choose your favorite.
Okay. How are other ways that we could say this? What else
Okay.
could we say?
Well, you could say be kind to yourself, or what else?
Or as my grandmother said, be good to yourself.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Give yourself a break. It's a little more colloquial, casual.
Or take it slow. Anything else, Lindsay?
Yeah, I was going to say along the lines of another word for the same thing is compassion, right? Have some self-compassion, right?
Right. That is a good one. Yeah, compassion. I like it. So, should we try these out in a role play?
I think we should. Let's do it. So here, Michelle, we're coworkers and I am feeling nervous about my presentation that's coming up.
Ooh, okay.
I'm so nervous. I think I'm going to totally freeze up when it's time.
No, you won't, Lindsay. Give yourself grace. You've done this before and you've worked so hard.
Thank you. But last time I forgot my notes and I didn't know what to say.
So you learned from that. Give yourself a break. You're prepared.
Thanks. I guess I just have to be kind to myself. I can do it.
Yes, just take it slow and breathe.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So let's go through it. So you said, no, you won't, Lindsay. Give yourself grace. And this is where you could also insert, for me, it feels more natural just to say, give yourself some grace. Just feels like a balanced sentence for some reason. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then I said, give yourself a break. You're prepared.
Yeah. And then I said, thanks. I guess I have to be kind to myself. Yeah.
And then I said, just take it slow and breathe.
I love it. I love it. So what's a takeaway for our listeners about this phrase?
Right. Well, I like what you said, Lindsay, that this is kind of like very in fashion in a way because of this moment we're living in the world. So this idea of being kind to yourself, like I think in society we're more focused a little bit, on mental health now.
Yeah, we
that's
are.
come more to the forefront of the conversation. A lot of this stuff may have been brought about by the global health crisis. So, but it is this idea of being kind to yourself and treating yourself like you would treat that friend, and not just always being hard on yourself because you're you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it is fine. Actually, it's good to have goals, have things you're trying to achieve. But what's that expression? I don't know the quote and I don't know who said it, but the vibe is, it feels like things go fast in like a day or a month, but then you look back on a year and you end up achieving a lot. Like things get done. If you have work ethic, if you have an extreme work ethic, which I do, I think on our team, we all do, then it's good to balance that out. Like know your default. If your default is a hard worker, achievement oriented, then you really want to make sure you give yourself this extra boost of compassion and give yourself some grace. You just know what is, or maybe if you're not working hard enough, you boost that up a little bit and keep the grace intact as well. I think the takeaway here is whatever you hear from a 98-year-old is good wisdom.
That's right. That is true. This one goes out to your grandma.
I love it. All right, Michelle, good stuff. Thanks for bringing this in. Thanks for giving us a glimpse into, current ways of thinking in our culture. It's really good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Bye, guys.
Take care, Michelle. Bye.